Welcome back to We're Having Fun. I'm Mark. Hi.
Hi, I'm Krista.
Happy Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Soon it will be Thanksgiving. Hi.
Yeah, so this is Thanksgiving week.
So we're here giving thanks.
Sure.
Yep. What's up?
Nothing.
Cool. All right.
Moving on.
Moving on. We have any news?
I can't think of any. Besides
the Green Ranger dying.
Oh, yeah.
That was sad. I loved the Green Ranger and the White Ranger. He was cool. You did not. What is your face?
I was never a fan. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you even care about the Power Rangers at all?
I did.
Don't tell me you were a Blue Ranger. Krista!
What?
No, not Billy. Billy sucked.
To you, maybe.
Yes, to me.
You should know.
Everybody.
If there's a character, or if there's a guy that's gay, I'm gonna be the one who likes them. Apparently, I only like gay guys, and you.
I don't know what's going on in my life. Well, okie doke.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he was like the smart one.
I guess.
You know, I have a thing for nerds.
Yeah, that's true. But Tommy was so cool. He had the little ocarina. He would play it.
Yeah.
He was musically inclined.
I don't really like guys with long hair.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm glad I got my haircut this weekend.
I like Jason, too.
Yeah, Jason was cool. What about Zach?
Zach was alright.
I like Zach. Zach was cool. He was the one I wanted to be.
Okay. My mom's best friend, my mom and her best friend used to go walking every day after work. And I would basically have to look after her kids. Mm-hmm. So they were kind of like my little brothers. Yeah. And while I was there, of course, we would play Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles and stuff. So, yeah. Ninja Turtles, of course, I always had to be April O'Neil because I was the girl. Yeah. And I did get to play some of the bad guys, so that was fun. Oh. But, of course, I had to be the stinking Pink Ranger, and you know how I feel about Pink.
Oh, she was hot, though.
She was, but I hate Pink so much.
Yeah, it's true.
And so I was, but I also got to be
the Yellow Ranger?
I did get to be, because we would usually get to be like more than one character, so I would get to be the Yellow Ranger also. Okay. So I was like, okay.
What about that robot?
Zordon. Alpha 5? Yeah. Yes. I probably was Alpha 5. Yeah, but when it first started, there was no Green or White Ranger at first.
Mm-hmm. There was only just black and white.
It was the colors were
invented.
There were just the 5, and of course, the oldest of the boys got to be the Red Ranger because, of course, the Red Ranger was like the leader. He was. So Adam got to be the Red Ranger.
Makes sense.
And Zach, the other little boy, it was like, well, the Black Ranger's name is Zach, so you get to be the Black Ranger. He's like, no, I want to be the Red Ranger.
I love the Black Ranger.
And he was so sad because he wanted to be the Red Ranger so bad. Yeah. And then the Green Ranger showed up and he wanted to be the Green Ranger. But of course, Adam was like, well, I'm older, so I get to be the Green Ranger. He's like, you can be the Red Ranger now. And he's like, no.
It's tough being the baby.
Poor little baby.
Yeah. Black Ranger's perfect though.
I'm like, you can be the Pink Ranger if you want.
Nobody wanted to be blue.
No.
Black's my favorite color. He was a saber-toothed tiger, and I love tigers. It's made for me. It was great.
But yeah, they had like all of the characters. They had the ones that when you push the button, their faces would be hidden by it would like go into their chest, and they'd be wearing the helmets.
They'd morph.
Yeah.
It's morphin' time,
you could do morphin' time, exactly.
Do they have Morbius? For Morbinda?
No.
No? Okay.
And then, of course, I had to be Rita Repulsa because... Of course. Because, she was a girl, so...
Growl!
I got to... Goldar! Go after them! Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah.
And we went to see the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie when it came out.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Ivan Ooze. And they became
Yeah.
like the Ninja Rangers or whatever.
Yeah.
And-
once that happened, I was done.
And I had it on VHS.
Yeah.
And
I
there
don't
was like...
think I saw it till it was on VHS.
And they went to like this planet where there was this woman who had like she had these like the staff that broke in half and it like whistled when she moved it. And I thought she was so cool.
Sounds cool. I don't remember that movie very well.
I watched it probably more than I should have.
Yeah.
Considering how old I was.
Yeah, I'm not sure what age I was when I stopped watching, but I'm sure it was close to something like that.
Yeah, and then that's when they brought in like 3 different Rangers because Jason and Trini and Zach were gone.
Yeah.
So you got Rocky, Aisha, and Adam.
Man, I would never pull that one.
Anyway.
Yep.
But Tommy was still there.
Yep. Hanging in there.
We got way off onto a Power Rangers tangent.
Well, enough about that.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Let's move on then to our movie for this week. This is a Thanksgiving staple. I like to watch it. I've seen it several times. It's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. My most vivid memory of watching it is and I could be completely wrong about this, but I think we were at a Little Caesars across the street from the university where my dad worked, and we were waiting on him, and we were just having some crazy bread and watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles on TV. And yeah, I don't know why I remember that time so well, but yeah, and like I said, could be completely wrong on that. But I've seen it several times since then, and yeah. Had you seen it growing up?
Probably. I just don't remember it. When did it come out? I'm looking. 1987. So I probably saw it when it came out on VHS. We probably rented it. So I would have been very, very young.
Yeah. I don't think I ever saw it in theaters. Surely not. But
if you did, you would have been like a toddler.
Yeah, I've been too. I was an early cinephile.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I saw it on TNT and TBS a lot. That's where I probably mostly saw it.
Yeah, I think, pretty sure that we probably rented it at some point after it came out and watched it then. But like I said, I was so young, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure we own it. My family, at least. But yeah, I always remember loving it, so I was happy to watch it again. And since I've only seen the TV version, there was some new stuff for me. New exciting things to see.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into it.
Okay.
About what this movie is at its core. It's about family.
Okay. Just like Fast and the Furious.
Fast and Furious. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Oh man, if they'd erased those trains or something.
It's all about family.
There was some racing in there.
Oh.
Perceived racing.
Why they thought it was racing, but it was not actually.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, they want to race.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, okay. We start off in New York City. In New York City.
Broadway. City of Lights.
2 days before Thanksgiving. We start off with, what's his name?
Steve Martin.
Yeah. His name is Neil Page.
Neil Page, yep.
Steve Martin. I think Steve Martin is a very handsome man.
Oh yeah, he is. He's so funny. I love Steve Martin.
I've pretty much always had a crush on Steve Martin, so, you know.
Yeah. Now he just mainly plays the banjo. I really wanted to go see him and Martin Short when I lived in Arizona. They were coming to the theater and doing their thing. I really wanted to go see him, and I just never did, sadly.
Yeah.
So maybe one day.
See, growing
up,
I didn't really watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles very much, but I did watch The Jerk.
Oh, we watched The Jerk so much.
And also The Three Amigos.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yep.
Yeah, Steve Martin's just great.
And watched him on Saturday Night Live because, of course, I watched Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Back when it was, back in those days.
In the days before. So he's a marketing man.
Yes. Yep, he's in marketing. He's in a meeting, and he has a ticket to Chicago. He's got to get on the plane. Leaves at 6. He's like, oh my gosh, this meeting has to end soon because I'm going to miss my flight and I'm not going to get to see my family and all this stuff.
Does he just commute to New York? It seems like he's not home a lot.
Yeah, and he says he's not home a lot.
Because he's in New York all the time? What is that set up?
I don't know. Maybe And maybe it's just who he works for. Maybe they have an office in New York and an office in Chicago, and he's usually at the Chicago one, but they send him to the New York one.
Maybe.
They send him there sometimes. I don't know.
Could be. Maybe an airplane ticket's cheaper than actually living in New York.
Those
prices.
But I mean, he was supposed to be flying first class.
It's true. Well, he's got the miles. Surely.
Guess so. So yeah, he's got his ticket. He's ready to go. It's just waiting. It is the most silent beginning of a movie.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's not really any music.
Yeah.
It's just this guy, his boss is just looking at some kind of ad or whatever.
Yep.
And they're kind of he and another guy at the company are kind of miming to each other, oh, we gotta get out of here soon.
Yeah.
And kind of very quiet. It was weird. I was like, somebody please make some noise. I'm uncomfortable.
You don't like quiet for more than a minute.
Not in a movie, it's weird. Except unless it's I say that, but then there's movies like A Quiet Place, which I'm fine with that, but that's different.
Yeah.
That's for suspense.
That is.
I don't like silence for comedy, I guess. Oh, man.
Yeah. Sorry, Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, that's different too. So they finally get out of the meeting. He's probably not going to be able to make it in time.
I mean, it's 2 days. He's got 2 days to get to Chicago.
Yeah, but he's got...
Oh, to his plane?
To his plane. Yeah. He doesn't have 2 days to get to his plane.
Yeah.
So he goes out. He's trying to hail a taxi. And there are just people all lined up on the sidewalk trying to get a taxi. So he kind of turns the corner and he sees a taxi in the distance.
Yep.
But then he looks across the road and he sees someone else who also sees this taxi.
Surprise.
It's Kevin Bacon. I was like, what? What is he doing here?
Yeah.
So
apparently he had a film coming up from Hughes, made a film with him in it.
Okay.
So it's kind of cross promotion, I guess.
Okay.
So that's why he was in this.
That's funny because that means that you can use this as if you're playing 6 degrees of 7 bacon.
Yep, 6 degrees of 7 bacon.
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You can use this.
It works.
Little cameo.
That in Animal House.
Yep. So I was about to say thank you, sir. May I have another Kevin Bacon cameo? All right. So they both are racing toward this taxi.
Yep.
Each of them, something gets in their way and everything. Mm-hmm. And he's about to be there. Steve Martin's almost there. He's about to run over to it, and there is something that he trips over.
Yep.
And Kevin Bacon gets the cab and goes off. And I was like,
and he nearly gets run over for the first time in the movie.
Yeah, there are so many times he almost gets run over.
Why is that a running gag?
I don't know. But I'm sitting there like, wow, Kevin Bacon, you could have shared that taxi, but okay.
New York, they're mean there, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what they say.
Anyway, so what he tripped over was a trunk.
Yep.
And he sees it has a name on it. It says Del Griffith. Mm-hmm. He's like, stupid trunk.
Yep. Hates you.
Mm-hmm. So he's going to try to get another taxi. Mm-hmm. He sees one.
Yep.
Goes over to it. There's a guy that is about to get into it. And he's like, hey, I will pay you $10 to take this cab. And he's like, make it 50. And he's like, oh, okay, fine, $50. And he's like, well, if somebody's willing to pay $50, then he'd surely pay 75. And I'm like, you jerk.
I hate this guy.
It's some lawyer.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that makes sense. So he's like, fine, I'll pay $75 for this cab. Meanwhile, somebody is like putting this trunk into
the trunk in there,
the cab. And he's trying to pay the guy.
Can't believe Steve Martin doesn't notice this happening.
It doesn't notice at all.
Yeah.
Cab just drives away.
Yep. Cabby don't care.
No, it's gone. So, and of course, he's already paid the $75 to this guy. And the guy's like, well, thanks for the money.
Yeah.
And so he runs after the cab. At one point, he does manage to get to it. And he opens the door. Surprise, John Candy is in there.
Yep.
And he looks very frightened.
Yeah.
And then the cab just keeps going.
Yeah.
Runs over his briefcase.
Yep.
Or somebody runs over. I think it's the car behind him.
Yeah, probably.
He finally does somehow manage to get to the airport. His plane is delayed.
Of course.
And so, I mean, that's fine, because, I mean, whatever.
He was late.
At least it hasn't left yet.
Nowadays, he never would have made that.
No.
There's no
way he could make it through security and everything. No.
Yeah.
So he calls his wife and says, it's been delayed, but I should be there around 10 o'clock. Or by 10 o'clock. She's like, okay, I'll wait up for you. And I'm like, I'm going to wait till 10 o'clock. It's like, you're not like me, obviously, staying up till midnight. But okay.
Yeah, like, I'll be awake.
It's like, there's not going to be a problem. So he's waiting for his plane to get going or to be able to board. And... Oh, I forgot to mention that it does show his family, and one of his sons is baby Matthew Lawrence.
Little baby Matthew. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's why she's so tired. She got 3 kids.
She does have 3 kids.
The little monsters, especially that little Matthew Lawrence.
With his little bowl haircut.
Yes.
Oh my
little
gosh.
cute face.
Yeah.
Adorable.
So anyway, he's sitting there waiting to board the plane. He looks over. He recognizes the guy across the aisle from him.
Yep.
It's John Candy.
It's John Candy.
John Candy sitting there reading a book called The Canadian Mounted. I'm like, are you reading an erotic novel in the airport?
Probably.
Sir, put that away.
I mean, where else are you going to read it?
Wait till you're like at least on the plane. Gosh. Or, just read that at home. Read that in your hotel room. Don't read it in public. Jeez.
Yeah.
But he's like, you look familiar. And he's like, yeah, you stole my cab earlier.
He's like, no, I got that cab. And then, I did.
He's like, that's well, I guess that makes sense why it was so easy to get a cab. I was waiting for someone else. Oops.
Yep.
So yeah, he's not happy. They are able to board the plane. He gets in there. He's not in first class.
No, they bumped him.
So he's complaining about it. And I'm just like, just sit down.
Just sit down, dude. You want to go home. Like, don't get thrown off this plane.
Exactly. I'm like, which I am like the least confrontational person. I'm just like, I'd be like, okay. And just walk to my seat and sit down and be completely fine with it. And just be like, I would seethe in private and not say a thing.
I would definitely say something, but eventually I would sit down, and then after we got there, I would get my money back, like, for sure. And I would get a free ticket or something out of this. Yeah. I do not mess around.
I would seethe in private during the flight. And then after it was over, I would probably like complain online. Like, I can't believe they bumped me, blah, blah, blah. And see if I got like a little reply like, oh, we're sorry. Can you let us know what flight you're on and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because you went to Jimmy John's
I did.
last week and they gave us the wrong order.
Yes, screwed it up real hard.
Brought it back.
Uh-huh.
I opened it. I was like, this is not what I wanted. Yep. And you're like, crap. So you go all the way back.
I knew that guy was, so mad.
So Mark goes all the way back to Jimmy John's to get it fixed. If it had been me, I would have gone, well, I guess I'm going to eat this.
Yes, I'm trying something new today.
I guess I'll eat this club sandwich. I'm fine with it, whatever. It did have ham and cheese, which is what I wanted, but it also had turkey and who knows what else. I would have been like, well, this is my life now. It's fine.
The world must want me to eat this sandwich.
So I'm like, I'm not going back.
But yeah, took it back. Got us some cookies as well.
That's true.
It worked out really well.
Those cookies were really good.
They were good. So, those are victory cookies.
Oh, man. Anyway. So he goes to sit down. And who's he sitting by?
Oh, Dell.
Yep, John Candy.
It's like the only seat left because he's been arguing the whole time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, those planes look awful. They just look like smoke. I don't know when they stopped allowing smoking on a plane.
I don't know.
But those looked like smoke. They look like whenever you go to like some old relative you've never met before, and then just their furniture, they're just big smokers and their furniture is just ratty. But it's real comfortable for some reason.
There's so much smoking in this movie too.
By John Candy.
John Candy. I mean, he's like smoking so much.
Smoking hard.
Because it's like he's smoking in a car. He's smoking in the hotel room. In the motel room. He's like, I'm like, that you're gonna burn that bed down. Because it's like this huge like just ashes at the end where he's not flicking the ashes. And I'm just like,
bro, come on. It's killing me.
Smoking in a diner.
Yeah.
Just like, oh God.
Everywhere. God.
I'm so glad that
I do not miss that at all.
I'm so glad you just don't smoke anywhere anymore.
God, I remember choosing between smoking and not smoking. Oh. How crazy is that?
Yeah. And even if you choose like non-smoking somewhere,
you're still next to the smoking.
Yeah, it's right next to the smoking section.
Like
you're
nothing dividing.
What's the point? Just sit them right next to me, blow in the smoke right right in my lungs because that's what's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Playing with the ashtrays on the table when you were a kid just because they were there.
Well, I mean, I told you about growing up and I would stay with my grandmother.
Oh, yeah.
And she was a smoker. But she would smoke outside.
Right.
Which meant all of her ashtrays were outside. And one of my favorite things apparently to do was to clean. Just clean.
That sounds fun.
The ashtrays. I don't know why, but it was so satisfying. Yeah. So anyway. So we find out their names. Del Griffith, of course, is John Candy. He is a shower curtain ring salesman.
Yep.
And Neil Page, he's in marketing.
Yep.
Del talks all the time.
He loves to talk.
And Neil is just sitting there like, I'm trying to read this article that my friend wrote in Forbes.
Yeah.
And I can't concentrate because you're talking. And he's like, oh, it's okay, I'll stop. And then immediately starts talking again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's the worst. I like him, but he's the worst.
Yeah, he is.
And then he takes his shoes off.
Yeah, and socks.
And his socks.
Yep.
Which is disgusting.
That's pretty bad.
Don't do that. Not on a plane next to all these
confined
strangers.
space.
Confined space.
Yeah.
Where everybody's just breathing the recycled air. It's so nasty. Stop it. So anyway, there's this big storm that's happening. So they can't land in Chicago.
But this flight confuses me a little because they get a meal on there and everything. They're going New York to Chicago.
That's nothing.
2 hours, 3 hours?
Yeah, why are
nothing, yeah.
Maybe they just did meals more often back then.
Maybe.
I don't know, because now it's you're doing good if you get a cup of Coke and some pretzels.
They're running you through those things.
Because a lot of times they're like, no, we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted a water, please.
They're just breaking out whole meals. I don't understand that.
I've only had one meal on a plane. No, I take that back. Well, technically, yes. Because one of them was just snacks. But it was more than just
than some peanuts.
Than peanuts or pretzels or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was going to Italy.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the only time I've had it.
It was a long flight. Yeah. And I got food on that flight.
Right.
Maybe even 2 meals because it was a while. Because we were going, well, technically we were going to Germany because we stopped in Germany and then went to Italy. But it was a long flight. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we had that. And then I've had one going from Alabama to Arizona. But it was one of these chartered flights. Because it was going to the casino. And it was a chartered flight, so they gave you there was salami and crackers and cheese, and I don't eat salami, so I was don't want it. And cookies and stuff like that. And I was well, I will take the cookies, that's for sure. So stuff like that. It was just a little thing, dried cranberries, I think. Right. So it was it wasn't quite a meal, but it was a nice little snack pack kind of thing. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having something like that on all flights, but
yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
But yeah, normally even going from Birmingham to New York, nothing.
Yeah.
It's they might give you 2 bags of pretzels.
I feel maybe I had some when we went to Chicago on our way to Europe. We might have had something on that flight. I don't remember.
So, yeah, I guess things have just changed. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
We did not...
costs.
I did not get lasagna and a roll and a brownie or anything.
Yeah. On the European one, there's something like that. But, yeah. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so they end up in Wichita. Mm-hmm. Which, that sucks.
Yeah. They really had to divert.
Yeah.
Pretty far, because... Chicago's there. Wichita's all the way there.
Yeah. It's a ways down.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, they land in Wichita.
And old airports. It's the worst. Standing in line for a payphone. Ugh.
Yeah, there are no...
I hate it.
Just lines everywhere. Nobody has cell phones, of course, at the time, because it's the 80s.
What a terrible time to be alive.
Ben Stein is there telling them that there are no flights to Chicago.
Yeah, they had to cancel it.
Mm-hmm. Everything up north, I guess, is just... You can't fly in.
Yep.
So he stands in line for the payphone, calls his wife to let her know that he's in Wichita. Mm-hmm. And then after he finds out there are no flights, he has to go stand in line again for the payphone. Gets up there, looking for a hotel room. Can't find anything.
Nothing.
There's nothing available.
Yeah.
So he's like, crap, what am I going to do? I guess I'm just going to sleep here in the airport or whatever. But then he sees Dell, and Dell's like, hey, so I know a guy. I sold him some curtain rings, whatever.
Yeah, he'll get you a room.
Yeah. Shower curtain rings. We'll get you a room. And so he looks and he sees this guy sleeping in the airport, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Sure, I'll go with you. I'll pay for the cab to get us there, and that'd be great.
Yeah.
So they get in this cab. This is the creepiest cab I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is not a normal cab.
I don't remember ever seeing this scene, or at least some parts of the scene.
Yeah, because this guy, he's got pictures of naked ladies all in his cab.
He's got the nudie pics up.
Why? How is that?
Gotta entertain your customers, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, he's real weird. He takes them through different parts of town.
Yeah, he can tell he's new and he's just running up the town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he does get them to the motel or whatever they're going to.
And yeah, Dell tries to get him a room. He's like, come on, hook my buddy up. Mm-hmm. And they try to pay with their credit cards, their diner cards, and they kind of get switched around.
Yes.
I don't know what happened to Dell's card. Maybe he still had it. But anyway, he ends up with... No, Steve Martin takes Dell's card.
Yeah, Neil ends up with Dell's card.
Yeah.
And Dell ends up with Neil's card.
Yeah.
Which we don't find out that until later.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so they end up switching credit cards.
Yeah. And he's like, sure, I got y'all set up. All right. And a double. There you go. Yep. You'll have a good night.
Have a good night. And they go up
one
there.
Room. That's all they get.
Mm-hmm. They get up there. And I immediately go, there's only one bed, isn't there?
Yep.
Of course there is.
It's a double bed.
Because this is a romantic comedy. Yeah. I'm sorry, but it is.
It is. It's more like a friend comedy.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a...
friendship.
But, I mean, always on, road trip movies, if they go get a hotel room, there's only one bed.
All right, yep.
They have to share, or somebody has to sleep on the floor or a couch or something like that.
Yep.
It is definitely a trope.
Yep.
So, there's only one bed.
Yep.
And they kind of both look at it like, okay, who's gonna sleep there? And they don't really discuss it, I don't guess, but they keep doing this thing like, oh, do you want to take a shower? And it's like, I'm going to take a shower and I'm going to get out and he's going to be asleep in the bed. It's like, no, I was just wondering if you wanted to shower first or second and all this stuff. There's all this going on.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think the implication was, do you want to shower with me? When he first says it, you want to take a shower? Like, no. Do you want, no. What? No, I'm not like, so, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
That was the initial thing. I guess Dell got the shower first.
Yes, he got the shower first.
This whole set of scenes. This is the most memorable part in my mind.
Okay.
we quote it a lot.
So he showered first. So he's outside. He's in the bed now. He's got his side of the bed.
Yes.
All staked out. He's got the picture of his wife on the bedside table, whatever, the nightstand. He's smoking a cigarette in the bed.
Drinking some beer.
So gross.
Turns on the vibrating bed.
Meanwhile, Steve Martin is in the shower, and he's enjoying the shower at first.
Yep.
And then he starts to wash his face.
Yeah.
And he has soap all on his face, and then the shower stops working.
Yep. Ugh.
And his eyes are burning. He's just freaking out. And finally, it comes back on, and apparently it's either too hot or too cold.
Yeah.
Because he's freaking out. Then he gets out. How did he not see all this stuff when he got in?
I don't know. That's
makes no sense.
Yeah. Maybe it's just I just got to get in the shower. I'm so tired. Yeah.
So he gets out. He looks around for a towel. There are no towels.
Yeah. Dell has used everything.
Dell has used everything in that.
They're playing it off Dell is really nice and everything. Mm-hmm. But dude has no consideration for anybody else. No. He kind of sucks. Because, he used all the towels. He leaves crap everywhere. He sucks.
The only thing left is one little tiny washcloth.
I love him drying off that
with that little...
Just patting his face and everything, and then going on his back trying to do the thing. It's that's great.
It's so good.
Such a good gag.
So good. So he finally, he gets out of there. He's in bed now.
Mm-hmm.
You find out that he's sleeping in a puddle of beer because Dell put the beers on the bed.
Yeah.
And it was doing its little
They shook a lot.
Shaky thing, and it shook so much that apparently it
exploded everywhere.
Exploded the beers.
Yep.
So he's sleeping in a puddle of beer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. But he's like, fine, whatever. I'm just going to get some sleep.
Yep.
So Dell does not immediately go to sleep.
Nope. He's got a whole routine.
He opens his book. He tries to read it by a lighter.
Like, just turn on the bedside table. Like,
oh my God. Yeah. He's like cracking all of his knuckles.
Talking.
Ugh.
Oh, it's pretty gross.
It's so gross. He's just generally being disgusting.
Yeah, he's pretty gross. Like, I get it, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So finally, Neil just gets up. He's like, I can't stand being around you anymore. I've got to go. I'm going to just sleep in the lobby. You're the worst person I've ever met. You're like, it's like going on a date with a chatty Cathy doll, he says at one point. He's like, you just never shut up. He's like saying all this stuff. And it like gets to the point where you're like, oh my God, now he's just being incredibly mean.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I feel really bad. And you can look at Dell's face and you can just see like he just looks so sad.
He's hurt. Yeah.
He's so hurt. And I'm like, oh gosh, no. And so finally, once he finishes talking, he's like, well, you know what? I like myself.
Yeah. My wife likes me. I like me.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes.
My customers like me.
Yeah. So he goes and lays back in bed and faces away from him. And Steve Martin's just kind of standing there like, oh gosh, I feel bad now,
Yeah.
And Dell kind of like looks back.
And then when he sees him, he turns
back around like pouting and everything. And so finally he's like, all right, I guess I'll just go back to bed.
Yep.
So he goes back to bed.
Yep.
Middle of the
go to sleep.
They both go to sleep. Middle of the night, someone breaks in.
Yep.
And
steals
all their money.
And apparently this is from a scene was cut where Dell ordered pizza, and when the guy delivered it, Dell only tipped him $1 and wouldn't tip him anymore. So he came back and stole all the money. So that was the delivery boy. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep.
I do know that the guy who played this kid, I don't know how I recognized him because you can't see him very well, but I was like, this kid looks familiar. I know I've seen him in something. This has to be one of the kids from Summer School. Have you ever seen Summer School?
No.
Okay. I haven't.
I don't know.
We might have to watch it sometime.
Okay.
But there are these two guys, Chainsaw and Dave, and they are obsessed with Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like scary movies and stuff. And special effects. They love, what's his name? Rick Baker, who does like all the special effects, makeup and stuff.
Okay.
And because they like write an essay about him and how they like him very, 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 very much because they just keep trying to like get all the word count.
Yeah.
It's one of those guys.
Okay.
It was the guy who played Dave. I was like, is that the kid?
Yeah. So they wake up in the next morning, very close and cuddly.
They're snuggled up together.
John Candy kissing his ears. Such a, love that scene.
Yes. And he's like, Dell, why are you kissing my ear?
It's like, were they holding hands? What were they doing?
I can't remember what it was, but he asks, where's your other hand? He's like, between two pillows. Those aren't pillows.
Oh, it's a huge scene. Loved that scene when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh. So they jump up. They're both like,
I would be too if I had my hand in someone's butt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be going to wash my hands immediately.
But he's not the one who goes to wash his hands immediately.
Yeah, that's true. That we see at least.
No, because Steve Martin goes into the bathroom.
Yeah.
To wash his face.
Yeah.
And
I hate this.
So gross. He's like, what is wrong with this water? This is really weird.
Yeah.
Because it's a sink full of Dell's socks.
Yeah.
Soaking in the water.
Yeah.
And then he goes to wipe his face off because, of course, he wants to get this water off of his face. And it's Dell's underwear.
Yeah. But you should have known there weren't any towels.
There were no towels. Exactly.
Why would you expect a towel to show up?
Exactly.
Ugh.
So very gross.
So
and he's
gross.
like, "Can you like take my socks out of the sink?"
I would just not
No.
try to clean myself at all at that point.
So nasty.
Yeah.
So I forget where they go after this. But they go somewhere. Are they going to eat, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, they go to eat at the diner. Yeah. Because then they get the food and they're like talking and he's like, "I'll pay for this since I've paid for everything else." And then that's when they discover they don't have any money. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how they got out of that situation, but...
No. Well, I guess they still had cards.
I guess, yeah.
But...
Yeah, because they just stole cash. Mm-hmm. But at that point, you would think they would notice that they switched cards.
Yeah, you would think so.
Maybe not.
Well, maybe Dell was like, "It's okay, I've got it." And then he just keeps using...
Yeah.
using Neil's stuff all the time. So yeah, he accuses Dell of robbing him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "I don't have any money. I know I had this much money in here. Mm-hmm. Where is it?" And then he's like, "It's fine. I'll take care of it."
Yeah.
And then he realizes he doesn't have any money either.
Yep. Yeah.
So, yep. They got robbed. But he's like, "It's okay. I know somebody. We can take a train."
And I'll get the train station. He'll send his son to pick us up.
Exactly. So
And we'll go take the train.
The guy shows up. This is Dylan Baker.
Uh-huh.
And
his first thing, apparently.
Oh, was it his first?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And his wife is with him.
Super tough wife.
Super tough wife.
This was all improvised by Dylan Baker.
Okay, so yeah.
all the little weird, gross movements he did.
Oh my gosh.
It was all him.
It was nasty. And apparently his wife, her first baby, she pushed it out sideways.
Yep. Didn't scream once.
Didn't scream at all.
She's tough.
Mm-hmm. Because he's like, "It's okay, she can take the trunk."
Yeah.
This trunk's like really heavy.
Yeah.
Because we didn't mention that, yes, the trunk belongs to Dale.
Uh-huh.
And that's what Steve Martin tripped over when he was trying to get that taxi cab the first time. Yeah. So they do end up making it to the train station. They're in two different cars.
Well, they ride in the back of the truck.
Oh, yeah, and there's a dog.
It's freezing because the people train goes out of, I don't know, it's not Wichita. Maybe, I can't remember where it is. But yeah, it's like 40 miles away. Mm-hmm. So by the time they get there, they're just frozen. Yeah. And there was a dog keeping him from getting the gloves.
Yes. And the dog is frozen.
And angry. Mm-hmm. So yeah, always good.
But they do manage to get to the train station.
Mm-hmm.
Neil gets them 2 tickets.
Yep. They couldn't get seats together.
Yes.
Oh.
They're in 2 different
I'm sure he
cars.
tried really hard.
Mm-hmm. They're in 2 different cars, and he's like, "Well, I guess this is where we part ways and everything." He's like, "Because I'll be in this one, you'll be in that one." And Dell tries to pay him back for the ticket. And he's like, no, it's a gift. Don't worry about it. Because I think he just doesn't want to give him his address.
Yeah.
He's like, "I just don't want you to know where I live."
Yep.
Sorry. Yep. So they board the train. Things are going well for about a minute.
Uh-huh.
And then the train breaks down.
It does.
About a mile away from Jefferson City.
Yep.
So
apparently that train is still out there, like the set. Like,
oh, really?
They just left the train out there. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I guess it's non-functioning tracks. I guess, what are we going to do with the train? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there we go. They've got to walk to Jefferson City.
Yep.
Of course, there's Dale trying to lug that big old trunk. So Neil comes out and helps him.
Yeah.
They get there. They get bus tickets to St. Louis.
Yep.
And they're on the bus sitting next to each other. They're like this couple making out right next to them.
So hardcore, yeah. And they're offended when they're looking at him like, bro.
It's like, you're in public.
Yeah, you're being ridiculous.
Stop. Yeah, but he's like, haha, you got caught looking at him.
I mean, she was leaning into him, basically.
Yeah.
He's gonna look.
Exactly. And then later they look over and they're both smoking cigarettes. It's like, how into this did they get? Because, okay.
Yeah.
Dell is like the life of the party on the bus.
Yeah, they're singing songs, Flintstones.
Exactly. And then
Steve Martin's
like, I've got one.
He's like, the worst.
3 coins in the fountain. Nobody knows 3 coins in the fountain. So they're like, no, we're going to sing Flintstones instead.
Yeah.
And so he just feels like, oh, crap. He just feels bad.
Yeah.
He's not good with people, apparently.
No.
So they finally get to St. Louis. I forget what they're not, they can't take a plane.
No, he's going to
I
rent
guess they're going to rent a car. So they're going to rent
their own separate cars.
Yes. So they're going to rent cars.
And he rents one and gets dropped off.
Well, Dell is there, like, selling shower curtain rings as earrings to give him some money.
Yeah.
And then they go to eat, and they decide they're gonna. Well, Steve Martin's decides. Like, yeah. We're gonna split up. It's gonna be easier if we go
travel. Yeah.
If we travel alone, you know. So Dell actually gives him like half the money. He's like, here's half the money. You can have this, and they go their separate ways.
Yep.
And. Yeah, so he has a rental car. He takes this bus out to where it is. It's like in the V's.
Yeah.
It's like V5 or whatever. He gets out there. The bus drops him off. He goes to look and find his car. There is no car in V5.
It's not there.
So he
and the bus
can't get back on the bus. It's already gone.
Just
so
go all the way back.
He has to walk all the way back.
Ugh. Like across a runway.
Across a runway
like
in an airport.
Can't be safe.
No. And then he finally gets there to the rental car place.
Yeah.
The lady there is on the phone.
Yeah. The secretary from Ferris Bueller.
Yes.
I don't remember her name.
Yeah. She was in some other stuff too.
She's in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And she's like on the phone with somebody talking about Thanksgiving plans. And he's just like.
He's so mad.
He's so mad on everything. I mean, he's just been having the worst time and just makes it even worse. So finally she hangs up and he just starts dropping F-bombs like crazy.
Apparently it was like 28 in a minute or something like that.
That sounds about right. Because it was like
lot.
Every
Maybe
other
18,
word.
I can't remember exactly. But yeah,
it was
he went hard.
A lot. I mean, it was like 2 or 3 per sentence.
But man, I feel. I've been there.
Yeah, I'm like, I get you, bro.
Yeah.
I would be just as mad.
Yeah. But then she's like, all right, you got your rental agreement. Which, why didn't he pick that up?
Why did he not?
It just felt like a foot from him. Like,
get it.
I think they wanted it to look like it flew away farther, but it was right there. Just grab your thing, dude.
So he doesn't have it. So he doesn't have a car now.
Nope.
So he goes out. I forget who
I can't remember how he gets into a tussle with that one guy.
Who is that guy? I forget what.
Maybe a cab driver?
Or he's like at the cab station or something. He's trying to get a cab or I don't know exactly. But anyway, he gets pissed off at this guy.
Yeah.
And the guy just punches him in the face.
Yep.
Knocks him out. Knocks him into the street. He almost gets run over again. But it's Dale.
Yep.
Dale has rented a car.
And it's supposed to look like the Griswold's car from Vacation.
So.
Which it kind of does, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, he gets mad at the guy too because he's like,
help this guy up.
Why are you being so mean? You know. So he does help him up by grabbing him by the testicles.
Yeah,
he's like,
him up.
Dell's like, I've never seen someone picked up by the testicles before. That was a new one.
Just does not seem physically possible.
And then like for the next like few lines that Neil has, they're very high pitched.
Yes, they are.
So he's like, they decide that they're going to share the car together.
Mm-hmm. Dell plays around with that car seat.
They get mad at each other. Well, first I guess it is while he's doing the car seat thing.
Yeah.
So he's playing around with the car seat. He's trying to get it comfortable. And Steve Martin is just like, dude, you do so much stuff that annoys me. And he's like saying all the stuff that annoys him and everything. He's like, well, you know what?
Like a child.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, well, you know what? You do things that annoy me too. You touch your balls all the time.
Which we've never seen him do this. I don't know what is happening off screen where he's touching himself so much.
I don't know, but he's like,
sometimes you got to. It's necessary.
So anyway, I guess that's like the only thing that he could say bad about it. It's really weird. Oh man. So they keep like going back and forth, like switching seats because, it's like, here, you drive a little bit and then I'll drive.
Yeah.
But of course, since he's been playing around with the car seat,
it's broken.
It's broken. So when Steve Martin gets back over there, it like pushes him into the window and all this
goes
stuff.
all the way back.
Goes all the way back, all this stuff. But he does finally manage to get comfortable and he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
And so Dell.
Bad idea.
So Dell is all alone.
Yep.
Driving down the highway at night,
Listening some jazz.
Smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Listening to jazz. Dancing around his seat. Playing the piano on the dashboard.
Yeah.
Doing all this stuff, pretending he's a trumpet player and everything.
Saxophone.
Yeah, saxophone. He's just having a good time while Steve Martin's asleep. So he finishes his cigarette, throws it out the window.
Why did he have the other one down?
I don't know.
Like, I know you want to get air out and everything, but
I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
It goes from his window into the back window.
Yes.
Into the seat. So it's like, okay.
I've been amazed with how many people I've been in cars with that smoked, how many times that's happened. Like, why does this keep happening? It's ridiculous.
And the thing is, it takes a while for that to, actually do anything.
Yeah.
It's sitting there for a long time.
For a bit.
Yeah. So then he's like, oh, it's getting kind of warm in here. I'm going to take my coat off while I'm driving. So he starts taking his parka off.
Yeah.
He gets one arm almost off.
Yeah.
So he's driving one-handed.
Yep.
And it gets caught in
on a knob.
I guess it's like the knob that controls the car seat thing.
I guess so, yeah.
So he gets it caught in that.
Yeah.
And he's tugging on it and it's not coming out loose. So he's like, well, I guess I'll just try to take the other arm off instead since I can't get this one.
Yep.
So it gets caught on some handle.
Yep.
So now he's driving with his crotch because...
And he won't stop. He won't stop the car. I had so much anxiety from this, just watching this. I was like, oh my gosh, I just want this scene to end. I hate it so much. I hate driving on snowy roads and stuff like that. I get real anxious about it. And just watching someone else do it so poorly, like they should be dead. I lost my mind.
Yeah, so he's driving with no hands. He's driving with his crotch, basically, his legs, as much as he can.
Yeah.
And not paying attention to the road because he's still trying to get out of this parka.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. So he goes off on an exit. And then
he's going to a dead end.
Yeah.
Like a T.
Yeah. And so he sees that and manages to stop the car.
Yeah.
They turn around several times.
Yeah, because it's an icy road.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
his coat rips and everything, so he's able to actually grab the steering wheel. But
so this wakes up Steve Martin.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's fine. We're good.
Yeah, everything's fine. Just getting back on the road.
Yep. So he gets on the road.
But he's going the wrong way. Oh my god.
And there's nobody on this road. For a
while. Yep. But then there's another car on the other side of the road going the same way as him. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh no, this guy's going the wrong way. Mm-hmm. We have to warn this guy. So they're yelling at them.
You're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. And he's like, oh, they want to race.
Yeah.
Oh, they want to race? Fine, let's race. And they're like, roll your window down. So Steve Martin finally rolls the window down. He's like, you're going the wrong way. And they're like, how do they know where we're going? They don't know we're going the wrong way.
You're drunk.
You're drunk.
Get out of here. Steve Martin's like, how do they know which way we're going? It's so ridiculous.
It's so dumb. Yeah, how do they know? Oh, man. I mean, he has a point.
Yeah. Then eventually Steve starts catching on.
Yeah.
Looking at the road, like, wait a second.
There are two semi-trucks coming our way.
Yeah.
We're on the wrong side of the road.
Yep.
So they go in between the trucks.
Yep.
Which knocks off the rearview mirrors.
Yeah, the side views.
Messes up the sides of the car and everything. There are sparks flying. It shows them inside. At one point, they both turn into skeletons.
Yeah.
Dell is the devil. But they make it through. They spin around. The trunk falls off. All their stuff, all the luggage and stuff falls off into the road. And they stop. And they get out of the car and they look at it and he's like, oh, this will buff out no problem.
Yeah, it's destroyed.
So well, we should probably go ahead and get this stuff out of the road because there's already been a car that has swerved around all their stuff. So they move the trunk out of the way.
They're very nonchalant about getting everything out of the road too.
They don't
They'd be running.
Yeah. So they move it out of the road. They're sitting on top of the trunk facing the opposite way.
Yeah.
And then one of them, I think John Candy looks back because they hear something. He looks back and then he just looks the other way.
Yeah.
And then Steve Martin looks back and looks the other way. The car's on fire.
Yeah. That's cigarette
That cigarette has
set it on fire.
finally done something. So the car's on fire.
Yeah, Steve Martin's wallet is in the glove compartment.
Yes, because he was like, don't let me forget, my wallet is in the glove compartment. Yeah. And as soon as he said that, I said, we're never seeing that wallet again.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
We do technically see it again. But they're talking about renting the car. And
yeah, Steve Martin starts laughing. He's like, finally, you
something
screwed
bad
yourself
happened to you.
Over.
Yeah.
This is, you rented this car. There's no way you'll get the money back for this car.
And he's like, oh, well, funny thing is, I had your credit card in my wallet. So technically, I paid for it with yours.
Yeah.
And I was gonna give it to you, and he's like, "Okay, well, give me my credit card back." He's like, "Well,
when we stop for gas,
when we stop for gas, I put it into your wallet."
Oh,
so it's burning up in the car.
Yeah, it's like slugs him in the gut.
Yep,
and trips over the trunk.
Yep.
Oh man.
So then they
just drive the car
into the car.
Amazing that it still drives.
How is it still going? I don't know. But it is.
Yeah.
So they drive it to a motel. The motel guy is the lawyer from Jurassic Park that gets eaten on the toilet by the T-Rex. So he's there. Yeah. Steve Martin's like, okay, here are my credit cards. They're all burnt to a crisp. Yeah. So it's like, well, you can't pay with that. So he's like, okay,
Visa,
well, here's
a diner's card.
Yeah. So he's like, here's what money I have, and
there's like $17 and this
watch.
Wristwatch,
which is very expensive.
Nice.
Very nice, very expensive watch. So he's like, all right, you can have a room. So then John Candy tries to do the same thing.
He's like, here's $2
and a Casio.
Casio.
And it's like, no. So he goes and he's just going to sleep in the car that there's nothing. There's no roof. There's doors, kind of.
Yeah.
But he's just going to sleep in the car.
It's sad. He's talking to his wife.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I screwed up again.
Yeah. So Steve Martin sees him out there and he feels bad about it. And he's like, come on in, you can sleep in here. So
since they pay with cash, they're like, screw it. Let's break into the
mini bar.
Yeah. Just get drunk.
They're getting drunk.
Yep.
At one point, they're talking about how hot the seats were when they were driving in the car. And John Candy's like, I feel like a Whopper. Like he's charbroiled. Which was really funny. And they toast to their wives and everything. Yeah. And
Steve is like, I gotta get home. I gotta stop working so much.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't been home in years.
Oh, I think
that's later.
Well, I think it was when they were in the diner, actually.
Oh, in the diner,
they split apart.
It's like, I haven't been home in years. And so Dell's like, not Dell. Steve Martin. Yeah. It's like, well, good thing is you got a wife that loves you and you love her. He's like, I do love her.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
So they have some laughs and they're like, it's like summer camp and everything. Yeah. And they're just having a good time.
John Candy goes into the bathroom and he says something about like, it's summer camp.
Yeah.
And John Candy opens the door just to laugh. And he closes the door back.
I feel like I've done that before, though.
I want you to know I'm laughing.
I just want you to know that was really funny, kind of. Because I feel like I've done that with Katie before.
I acknowledge you.
Or I'll say something to her and I'll be like, oh my gosh, yeah. And then laugh and then close the door again. Oh, man. It was great. That whole scene was great.
It was nice.
Yeah. So then the next morning, they get in the car. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get out, but they're like snowed in. They're like in a snowbank or whatever.
It's
Steve Martin tries to push it and nothing happens.
Yeah, it's just falling.
So
I should have tried to dig it out with something a little bit, but they didn't.
No, they didn't. So they end up putting it in reverse.
They're gonna rock it. But it goes too far.
It goes too far and it goes into the hotel room or the motel room, whatever.
Yeah.
So they jump into the car as quickly as they can. They just take off. But you know what? They paid with cash.
That's right. And it was the 80s. Mm-hmm. Who cares?
So can't trace them.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So they head off. They get pulled over. Because they're going like, what was it, 75 or 78?
Yeah, which is like now okay.
Sure.
So?
Yeah. It's like if you're not going 78, people are passing you.
Yeah.
Or if you're going 78, people are passing you.
Yeah.
You can go at 80 and there's somebody going 90 just going by you. It's like, how? How? Why is this not fast enough for you? Oh, man. So they get pulled over by a cop.
Mm-hmm.
It's Michael McKean.
Yep.
And he's like, do you really think that this...
This is worthy of being on the road?
Yeah, that this is okay to be driving?
It's like, I absolutely do.
I do. Mm-hmm.
I really do.
And then Steve Martin's like, or he's like, I really just we need to get Steve Martin home to his family
it's
for
like,
Thanksgiving.
Dude, I broke the law, but I gotta get this guy home.
I gotta get this guy home. Is that gonna be okay?
Yeah.
Car's impounded.
Yeah. And in the next scene or so, we see that he had a black eye.
Yeah.
And we were like, why does he have a black eye?
Yes.
Well, apparently.
Okay.
That scene, if you looked on his jacket, which I noticed, but I didn't really think about it, he's a Wisconsin police officer. They drove past where they needed to go by 100 miles. And they told Steve Martin that, and he got so mad he started chasing Dell around the car and started attacking him.
Oh, no.
So that's why that was. Because he just has a random black eye, and we don't know why. So yeah, he was in Wisconsin instead of going to Chicago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's Dell.
Oh boy. So he does manage to get them a ride though on a dairy truck or whatever.
Yeah.
It's Ashkenhagen.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Yep.
So they can't ride in the cab of the truck though because
he's afraid.
He's afraid. The driver is afraid of everything.
Yeah.
So they have to ride in the back with all the dairy products. But whatever. At least they have a ride.
Yep.
So they make it to Chicago. They're at the station for the subway station or whatever.
Train,
for the L. And they say goodbye. They hug and everything. And it's really cute. And it's like, oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
And Steve Martin gets on the train and heads home. And as he's heading home, he's thinking of his family.
Yeah. About pie and turkey.
Yeah.
And a candle.
Yeah. And then he starts thinking about waking up to Dell kissing his ear.
Yeah.
And all the fun times they had together, laughing and everything.
He was laughing about it.
He's like, oh, I can't just leave him here. But then he also thinks, wait a minute.
Yeah, he starts putting it together.
He starts putting things together.
Hasn't been home in years.
Mm-hmm. And he goes back for him. And he's just sitting there in the station by himself.
Yep.
And
she's like, Dell, why are you here?
Why are you here? Yeah. He's
what
like,
are you doing?
Like, or why haven't you gone home?
Yeah.
Or whatever. He's like, I don't have a home.
Yeah. My wife died 8
years ago. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's so sad.
Yep.
So he takes him home with him and introduces him to his family.
They walk down the street carrying the trunk.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he gets to meet the wife and everything and meet the kids and all the other family. And then the end is just a freeze frame on Dell's smiling face.
Yep. That's sweet.
That's really cute.
Yep. It's a nice ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't so nice that I was like, wouldn't it be funny if they opened that trunk and his dead wife was in there?
Yeah. You ruined the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's just the shower curtain rings and stuff.
Yeah, probably.
But
does have a lot of them.
He does. I mean, he sells so many of them.
He does. Yeah, he's a very good salesman.
Yeah, because he's like saying, oh, this belonged to Elizabeth Taylor or somebody, and all these celebrities, and then they're these three girls.
These are filled with helium.
Yeah, they're these three girls. He's like, they make you look older, 19. Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, sure, give me those. So.
Yeah, it's just as good a movie as the first time I saw it. Feel like still really funny.
It was very cute.
I guess I haven't seen it in a few years, so it was funny. I laughed a lot. It was a good time. Love Steve Martin. Love John Candy.
Yeah.
Sad that we lost John Candy, but yeah, it's a good time. Did you like it as much? Did you feel you remembered?
I remembered nothing. So this was just watching it for the first time, basically. Yeah. It was really cute. I liked it.
It was good. We laughed pretty hard.
Yeah. There were several times that I was just giggling like crazy.
Yeah. And then that drive, that anxiety.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I was like, oh my gosh, pull over!
When we drive home for the holidays, if it goes like that, I'm just stopping and we're gonna just sit.
Please do.
We gotta sit at a hotel or something.
Oh my gosh.
we'll Zoom chat in.
Oh man.
All right. Anything else to say about that before we move on? I would say watch it before Thanksgiving if you get a chance.
Yeah, if you get a chance.
It's on Pluto. watch it on Pluto with some commercials.
Yeah, and I think it may
bet
be...
it's probably on TV, too.
I was going to say, I think it may be coming on TV at some point. I think I wrote it down, actually. Let me see if I can find it. See what station it was coming on. Oh, it's going to be on AMC, actually.
Okay.
On Thursday.
Oh.
So...
All right.
Maybe possibly on Wednesday. I'm not exactly sure, but it's going to be coming on AMC at some point around Thanksgiving. So
you'll probably get some chances.
So yeah, if you want to watch it around Thanksgiving, check AMC and see if it's on there. If you have that.
There you go. All right. So what's our snack today?
Today we have pumpkin pie flavored Kit Kats.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Last Kit Kat we had was lemon, right?
No, we had another one since then.
What was it?
Oh, Lord. We had one not too long ago.
Spooky? Was it spooky?
It may have been.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Was it like birthday cake? No? Sugar cookie?
Gosh, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I can't even remember when we had it, so it's not helpful.
Well, this week is pumpkin pie.
Mm-hmm.
So let's give them a pumpkin try. I like that orangey look. It's got, you can see the little wafer in there a little bit. Oh, very pumpkin-y.
Oh boy. Well, very, very pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Tastes like it's got a lot of nutmeg.
Yeah.
Blueberry muffin flavored Kit Kats was the last one we had.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
And those were good, too.
Yeah.
Not as good as those lemon ones.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to this one.
Oh, Lord.
A little deformed. Is it too much? It kind of feels like too much.
Mm-hmm.
Too much pumpkin spice on that.
But if you like pumpkin spice...
Yeah, you're a big fan. You're going to really like these.
Mm-hmm. I just don't know if you can get them anymore because these we bought, like, they were with the Halloween candy.
Yeah.
We they're more fall than Halloween.
Yeah.
So we've had these for a while. We've just been waiting to eat them.
Yeah.
Because we had a Halloween candy stuff and we wanted to make it, have them a little closer to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Since they are pumpkin pie.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm digging them. It's too much. It's too much for me. I think I'm going to give them like a 4.
I think I'm going to give them a 5.5.
Okay. I mean, they're fine. If they just backed it down a little bit, I think they'd be a lot better. But they did not. They went all in. You got to respect their gumption. They went for it.
Yeah.
Which overshot a little bit.
I'm not much of a pumpkin pie kind of person anyway, so.
I love pumpkin pie. But yeah, maybe pumpkin spice, not as much. I don't know.
Well, good luck finding a pumpkin pie at our Thanksgiving.
It's all right.
We have sweet potato pie, though, usually.
I know where to get some. I can make my own if I need to.
There you go.
All right. Well, what kind of pie do you like at your Thanksgiving? What's your favorite Thanksgiving foods?
Ooh, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah. One of these days, we'll have to do like our top Thanksgiving foods. Yeah. Let us know all these things. Do you like planes, trains, and automobiles? That's what I was going to say. What's your favorite Thanksgiving movie? Because there's not many.
Nope,
so there's
not many at all.
Well, you can let us know for a while at least on Twitter at Having Funcast while it lasts. On Facebook at Having Fun Pod.
Or you can send us an email at havingfunpod@gmail.com.
And go have a good Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye.